If you're watching this video, you've probably gone through some church hurt. You've probably had the experience of somebody, whether it's an authority over you, somebody you look up to, or maybe your whole church, where you have experienced some hurt, and that hurt has rattled you, and now you're re-questioning the things that you've maybe always believed or believed for a long time. Maybe you're actually embraced this and you are going through a deconstructing process. Well, if that's you, I want to give you some advice, and the advice is to help you as you go through this process so that you come out as a healthier person on the other side rather than shipwrecking your faith. The first piece of advice I want to give is to remember that your disappointment is with men, not with God. God has not broken his promise to you. He has not failed you. He has not lied to you. Nothing that he has said to you has hurt you or has failed. What your disappointment is with men. Men are the one who have failed you, not God. And that's an important thing to remember, because your anger should be not directed at God. Your disappointment is with people who have maybe even falsely claimed his name and acted hypocritically. But your hurt is with them. So just remember, it's not God that has failed you, and you should not be running with him, because he has not broken any of his promises to you. The second piece of advice I want to give is to deconstruct in community. It's super important that, after you have experienced something very traumatic, a lot of hurt, your natural inclination is to want to isolate. You're going to want to, especially if the church has hurt you, you're going to want to isolate from the church. But that is not going to be helpful in this process. Now, especially if there was an abusive situation or, a major thing that would need you to leave that particular church, maybe you do need to find a new church home, but you shouldn't run from the church. You should find another healthy local church to plant yourself in to begin the healing process. See, there's two things that you need. You need, first off, not to be isolated, but to be in community. And the second thing is you need people around you who have not experienced the same hurt that you have gone through. You need people who are healthy, who are strong in their faith, people who you can talk to and who can help guide you through this process. So it's important that during this time, surround yourself with healthy people, healthy Christians who have not gone through the same hurt that you've gone through, and be open with them and to allow them to help you during this process. I just want to tack on also that in addition to not isolating, it's important to not go try to find community with deconstructing groups. There are lots of podcasts and ex-Christian and ex-evangelical and all types of ministries or groups of people who've gathered together who've experienced all the same hurt, but maybe who have also abandoned the faith as well. And that you might be drawn to them because you've experienced some of the same hurt that they have, but they have not come to good conclusions. And the last thing you want to do is surround yourself with people who have the same hurts, the same bitterness, the same anger as you do. That's not what you need during this time. So I want to encourage you to stay away from these type of deconstructing ministries and instead be in a healthy local church with people who have not experienced the same hurt, or people who have been hurt and have healed from it. For my third piece of advice, as you go through this season of questioning, I think it's important to have some anchors to hold you to the Christian faith. And so you're going to be questioning and wondering, what things that you've believed maybe that were a lie. But I think that the three ecumenical creeds, that's the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed, and the Athanasian Creed. They're very early in Christian tradition, especially the Apostles and the Nicene Creed. And they are what unite Christians as the core of the faith. And so use those as anchors. These are the core things that Christians hold as doctrine. And I want you to remember that as long as you're holding to that core, that is Orthodox Christianity. But I also want you to understand that if you want to start questioning things that go against these ecumenical creeds, that you're actually going into, dangerous waters, and that you are actually looking and embracing a faith that is not Christianity at all. And so I think that's important, because a lot of people who are deconstructing, they actually deconstruct the faith and they create something that's not Christianity at all. And I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to let go of maybe some of the lies that you have believed, but to hold on to the core beliefs, and those are found in the creed. So also, during this time where you're asking yourself some questions, go ahead and read through those 3 different creeds and look at the commonalities between them. The Apostles' Creed is shorter, the Nicene Creed builds upon that, especially on the Trinity, and the Athanasian Creed is the longer of that, but also builds upon it. And so familiarize yourself with those, and remember the core things that are emphasized in those 3 different creeds. That is essential Christianity. The 4th thing I want to say, and I want to encourage you to, is to not throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is going to be a temptation, and I just want you to kind of keep this in your mind, that you're going to be tempted, that anything that associates you with the hurt that you have experienced, especially if this was, like, for example, a church or a pastor, things that that made them unique and distinct, things that maybe they championed, that make you, that kind of brings to, remembrance, memories of them, whether it's that church or that pastor, you're gonna be wanting to throw those things out, because it hurts so much, because you have an association with that particular practice or doctrine with what has given you the hurt. And so I think it's important to just be aware of that there is going to be that temptation. Now, maybe it's something that should get thrown out. Maybe it was a harmful practice, but maybe it's actually something good that was twisted. Maybe it's something good that was just done in a wrong way. And so I think it's important to remind you that you don't want to look at examples of something that was twisted and abused. You want to look at something done in a healthy way. And so first thing is that if something is rooted in scriptures, and is something that's clearly taught in God's word, though you may have a bad memory of it, just understand that if it came from God, it's good, and therefore can be done in a good way and redeemed. And so maybe you need to see healthy ways where you can see this in practice. Maybe you've only had kind of bad and distorted views of that, but just don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't throw away anything that you just associate with where you've got the hurt. And the last thing I want to say is I want you to not look at this time as like I can't believe what I have to do because of what they have done to me. I don't want you to look at this as something that you blame them for having you to now go through, where you're now deconstructing your faith. Instead, I want you to look at this as possibly God's mercy in your life, that maybe He has freed you from hypocrites and dictators and abusers. Maybe He's freeing you from some false doctrine and harmful practices that have been stifling your growth and intimacy with God. And so don't look this as a negative thing, but look at it as a redemptive thing, that how God might be using this process to prune you and to grow you and to liberate and free you so that you can have better intimacy and joy with God. And so be optimistic that God is using this for your good, that He loves you and cares for you and wants what's best for you, and that as you go through this process, you will come out better than you were before. So that's my advice. Hopefully it's helpful. And if you're watching this video and you have some other advice for people who are questioning or deconstructing their faith, why don't you leave that as a comment below for them as well. Thanks so much.